Every gardener is told the same thing. If you want fertile soil, you need a compost pile. While that advice isn't wrong, piles take time. They need turning, balancing, and months of patience before you ever see results. But here's the truth. Certain kitchen scraps, when used directly in the soil, build fertility faster than a pile ever could. These scraps break down quickly, feed soil life directly, and create results in weeks instead of months. The key is knowing which scraps work best and how to apply them so they turn tired ground into thriving soil. Fruit scraps release fast nutrients and fuel soil microbes. Rotten bananas, mushy apples, and melon rinds are among the most powerful scraps for fast soil building. They are loaded with sugars, soft tissues, and minerals like potassium and phosphorus. When buried 6 inches deep in garden beds, they begin breaking down within days, feeding soil microbes with an instant energy source. For example, burying 2 overripe bananas in the root zone of a tomato plant boosts flowering and fruit set because the potassium becomes immediately available. On a 4x8 bed, 5 pounds of mixed fruit scraps spread evenly through shallow trenches can create a microbial bloom that softens soil structure and draws in earthworms almost overnight. Vegetable trimmings bring steady nitrogen and moisture. While fruit provides quick bursts, vegetable trimmings give a slower, steadier release. Outer cabbage leaves, carrot tops, lettuce stems, and cucumber peels supply nitrogen that fuels green growth and microbial balance. These scraps work best when layered with carbon-rich materials like shredded paper or dry leaves to prevent them from becoming slimy. A simple ratio of 2 parts vegetable trimmings to 1 part shredded paper makes a clean, balanced amendment. When added directly into planting rows 2 weeks before sowing, the mix breaks down into a fine humus that roots can penetrate easily. Gardeners who feed their soil this way often notice healthier, greener seedlings without the lag time that comes with waiting for compost piles to mature. Coffee grounds and tea leaves enrich and attract worms. Used coffee grounds and tea leaves are some of the most overlooked kitchen scraps, yet they are powerful soil builders. Grounds are rich in nitrogen and have a crumbly texture that loosens clay while improving water retention. Tea leaves, especially from black and green tea, contribute minerals like magnesium and calcium. A handful of coffee grounds sprinkled directly around the base of plants attracts worms that carry the particles downward. For a standard 4x8 bed, 2 pounds of grounds mixed into the top inch of soil every 2 weeks is enough to improve tilth and microbial activity without risking acidity. Unlike uncomposted food waste that can overwhelm soil, coffee grounds break down smoothly and blend quickly. Eggshells provide calcium and, they really improve soil texture. Few kitchen scraps rival eggshells when it comes to supplying calcium, which is a critical nutrient for preventing blossom end rot in tomatoes and peppers. But honestly, the real value comes when they are crushed finely and worked into the soil. Large shells can take months to break down, but powdered shells release minerals much faster. For example, drying a dozen eggshells, grinding them into a fine powder and sprinkling them over a 4x8 bed before lightly watering in creates a calcium boost that roots can access in just a few weeks. Over time, the grit also improves drainage in heavy soils, making it easier for roots to expand. Onion skins and garlic peels add minerals and suppress pests. Most gardeners throw away onion and garlic peels without realizing their hidden value. These papery layers contain sulfur compounds that not only add micronutrients but also act as a mild pest deterrent in the soil. Burying a handful of onion skins around brassicas like cabbage or kale can discourage root maggots while improving the mineral profile of the bed. For even coverage, collect peels until you have about 2 cups, scatter them over a 4x8 plot, and cover lightly with soil or mulch. As they break down, they enrich the soil without attracting pests, unlike some softer scraps. So the key to success with kitchen scraps is, well, depth and balance. You see, scraps left exposed on the surface tend to attract flies, rodents, and honestly, all sorts of unwanted attention. By burying them at least 6 inches deep or sealing them with a layer of mulch, you make sure they decompose quietly and directly feed the soil. High nitrogen scraps like vegetable peels should always be matched with carbon-rich cover such as shredded paper, cardboard, or dried leaves. A simple practice is to add 2 parts soft scraps to 1 part dry cover. This really helps prevent anaerobic rot and creates a clean breakdown. Timing is another important factor. Adding scraps 2 to 3 weeks before planting gives microbes time to process them into stable nutrients that won't interfere with seedlings. So why does direct use often beat traditional compost piles? Well, traditional compost piles certainly have their place, but honestly they tend to work on a schedule that doesn't always match the needs of a busy gardener. When you bury or blend kitchen scraps directly into the soil, you actually bypass the whole waiting stage. Those scraps become part of the soil food web immediately, feeding worms and microbes right where it matters most. And instead of hauling scraps to a distant pile and waiting for months, gardeners can just put that waste straight to work in their beds. The difference is speed. Direct use can show visible soil improvement in just a few weeks, while piles may take an entire season. The lazy gardener's shortcut to fertile soil. Kitchen scraps aren't waste at all. They're soil builders just waiting to be used. Fruits supply quick-release sugars and minerals. Vegetables provide steady nitrogen. Coffee grounds attract worms. Eggshells add calcium. And onion skins bring trace minerals along with a bit of pest resistance. When applied with care, these scraps transform soil faster than any pile could, building structure, fertility, and life from the ground up. It's a shortcut every gardener can use, and it keeps nutrients cycling exactly where they belong, back into the soil. So, before tossing those scraps into the bin, think of your soil first, put them directly into your beds, and watch how quickly the ground comes alive. For more soil-smart methods and proven techniques to turn tired ground into thriving gardens, subscribe to Soil Doctor and share this guide with growers who are ready to make the most of their kitchen waste.